So let's go ahead and bring one of those members of Congress right now, Republican Congressman Rick Crawford, who is chairman of the House Select Committee on Intelligence. Congressman, thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it. Can you just walk us through when you were notified about this strike and what you were told today?
Well, there was an update given to the Gang of Eight on Wednesday. It wasn't outlining details of the strike, and it wasn't giving a timeline for a strike. So that briefing was separate and apart from the notification. So I received a call yesterday preparing for, that was the notification to be prepared for this strike to come. But the Gang of Eight briefing was separate and apart from that took place earlier in the week.
And Congressman, the scale of the attack that we're seeing right now, is this what you expected, or is this bigger?
I would say this is probably kind of what I expected. I mean, I think, you can, sit back, and the military analysts are going to sit back and look at this and do the play-by-play on it and give their analysis. But, without getting into great detail, I mean, this is sort of what I would have anticipated, this level, this scale.
So let me ask you, we're getting these reports that targeting the Iranian leadership was part of this operation. The Ayatollah Khamenei, Iran's president, and President Trump talking about regime change today, asking the people of Iran to rise up, take back their country. Do you agree that regime change is the way to go right now in Iran?
This regime since 1979 has been a regional hegemon and a thorn in our side in more ways than we can count. I mean, I've actually experienced this myself personally, and back in the 80s, going back to the attacks on the Marine barracks in Lebanon, the Samuel B. Roberts in 1988, the Khobar Towers in 1996. This didn't just happen in the last week or two. This is 47 years of precedent that this regime has acted the way that they're acting, not only against American targets, but others in the regime. They've stood up proxies to carry out their bidding in other parts of the world, Hezbollah, Hamas, others. They've funded other terror organizations. This didn't happen in a vacuum. It didn't happen last night. It was, this is the sum total of 47 years worth of outrageous conduct on the part of the Iranian regime. And so put that into context with the history of Iran. I mean, 5,000 years of civilization, and the only thing we think about are the last 47. And so I think the Iranian people hunger for freedom and hunger for self-determination, but they need some help because this regime has repressed them for so long that they just are going to need a little bit of help. So I'm encouraged that this is an organic uprising, and I would absolutely encourage him, as the president has, to use this opportunity.
But Congressman, forgive me.
Just about.
Forgive me, as you were talking about, the oppressed people of Iran, you're a Republican, you're a supporter of President Donald Trump, and you know that he ran on a campaign of ending forever wars, not starting them, and that was very much a promise that many of his supporters adhered to, and that they expected a promise that would be kept. But here we are in this situation, and we don't know what's going to play out in the days ahead, but are you worried that regime change toppling the top leadership of Iran could in fact lead to an extended conflict throughout the region, pulling in American troops? The president even warning us of potential American casualties.
Well, I'm not sure you understood what I was just explaining. This war didn't start last night. This war started in 1979, and the Iranians started it.
No, I understand that, but again, it's President Trump who made the call as the commander-in-chief to carry out these strikes.
It was President Trump who made the decision to end this forever war. When you talk about a forever war, 47 years, does that constitute a forever war? A lot of people would say yes. It's longer than our engagement in Afghanistan. It was longer than our engagement in Vietnam. We've been engaged with the Iranians since 1979. They've killed hundreds of Americans and countless allies. They've killed, most recently, as many as 30,000 of their own people. That's genocide by any measure. And not to mention the fact that their obsession with becoming a nuclear power, which not only gives them the ability to be a regional hegemon, but a global hegemon.
But Congressman, forgive me again, I don't think anybody nobody disputes the threat from Iran. I mean, this is something that, you know, administration after administration, Democrats, Republicans, all worried about this. Are you comfortable, though, if it requires American boots on the ground or American casualties to facilitate this regime change? Is that something you're comfortable with?
We have never had boots on the ground in the 47 years that we have been in this state with Iran. However, Iranians have facilitated boots on the ground in action against the United States. Am I comfortable with boots on the ground in Iran? I don't think that'll be necessary. I think what we're going to see over the next few days is an organic change that was necessary, and 47 years of history indicates it. So there are other issues beyond just regime change. There is the ballistic missile capability, short, medium, long-range missiles that are aimed at the United States and the region and our allies. And, of course, their nuclear goals, which have been clearly stated that they would not yield on. And so President Trump engaged in an earnest diplomatic effort to try to come to some resolution. The Iranians, in typical fashion, this regime has decided, nope, they're not going to take a diplomatic route, and this is the consequence of it. This is the first time a president, outside of President Reagan, because President Reagan almost demolished their Navy in 1988 in response to their attack on the Samuel B. Morris. He was the last president that had the fortitude to take on the Iranians in any measurable way. So I'm comfortable that this had to happen.
Congressman Crawford, we appreciate your time and your perspective. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Let's go ahead and